What is up guys, Kartak here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over the Diaboromon deck from BT-17. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. First off, just want to let you guys know that this deck is actually pretty good, but it is very fragile, so in the current format it does see a lot of problems. But you know, once you get the ball rolling, it is a pretty good deck. It's just that there's just some unfortunate cards in this current meta that can completely counter this card. So we'll talk about that later, but let's go over the Digimon first. So for our level 2s, we are running the Sumemon. Sorry, that's Sumemon. So this is the Sumemon from BT-17. This one lets you get one memory when you are deleted, as long as you have the unknown trait. So this is a pretty flexible slot. If you don't like gaining memory, you can choose to run one of the other Sumemons. We have the BT5 one as well as the BT2 one. I was trying this one before. This one is pretty good if you're in a environment with a lot of DP minus effects. If you're worried about it in your security, or you're worried about someone just minusing you and it lasts until your turn, so that one is okay. But this one is, for the most part, this one's good just because you gain a lot of benefits from deleting your Digimon. So yeah, we're running 4 of those. So now let's move on to level 3s. So first off, we are going to be running 4 of the Caramon from EX6. So EX6 Caramon on play lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add a Tamer or option that mentions Diaboromon, as well as 1 card with the unidentified trait, and add it to your hand. And then the rest is trash. So this one is good because it actually helps you trash cards into your discard, which helps to fuel some of your other plays later on. And then the inherent ability lets you play a Diaboromon token when it's deleted, as long as you have the unidentified trait. And we're also running 4 of the Caramon from BT-17, so this is another new Caramon. So during your opponent's turn, when a opponent's Digimon is played or digivolves into a level 5, you can digivolve into an Infirmon, ignoring the digivolution requirements and without paying a cost. So this is actually really strong. If you slap this down, it gives you your opponent a lot of pressure. Assuming they can't kill it. So if you're playing against a deck that can just pop level 3s really easily, I wouldn't just slap him down. But yeah, you're also, by having him on the field, you also force your opponent into some plays. So I think he's pretty good. And then on deletion, you can also spawn another Diaboromon token. And this is a flexible Caramon slot. You can run a different Caramon if you want, but for consistency's sake, I'm running 3 of these. So these are the BT5 Caramons that helps you look at the top 5, and you can grab a unidentified trait Digimon, and you can also grab a Arata to your hand. And then for the level 4s, we are running 4 of the Diaboromon from BT5. On evolution, you can play a Arata if you don't have one on the board already. And then the inherent skill lets you give your other Digimon with the same name Rush. So it pretty much gives your tokens Rush, which is pretty good. That's mainly why I'm running 4, because I really like having Rush. So for the other level 4s, we're actually only running 3 of each. We're running 3 of the EX6 Diaboromon. So this one lets you reduce the cost by 3 if you delete a unidentified trait card. So if you hardcast this, you can delete one of your Caramons or something to play it for 2. And then the inherent ability is to give one of your just to spawn another Diaboromon token. So for example, if you have if you've hardcasted this, or if you have something like this, you can just pop this and play it, and you'll be doing it for 1 cost pretty much because you get the memory back. So that's cheaper than what you would have paid if you Digivolve on top. There's also other places you can do to force your stack. If you have like a stack that you want to get deleted, so you can spawn a bunch of Diaboromon tokens, you can do that as well. So it's pretty good. Next, we are also running 3 of the Armageddemon from BT-2. This one helps you get memory. I like this card because whenever a card with the same name is played, you get 1 memory, and it's not limited once per turn. So if you're just running a bunch of tokens, you're just getting a bunch of memory, which helps you extend your plays, which is pretty good. So running through 3 for that reason. If you don't like this at 3, you can run this one at 4 if you want. But I think, or you know, the ratio for this one is pretty adjustable. You can kind of cut this down to 3, and then run another one of another Armageddemon. It really depends on your personal preference. If you like spawning tokens more, then this one's the way to go. If you like getting memory, this one's the way to go. But for me, I like having Rush, so that's why I'm playing 4 of the BT-5 one. Alright, now on to level 5s. We are running 3 of the Infirmon from EX6. So this one, play on evolution by deleting 1 of your Digimon with Diaboromon's name. You can Digivolve into a Diaboromon with a play its cost. And then on all turns, whenever one of your other Digimon with Diaboromon in its name is played, you can de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's a really strong effect. I think the hair is really strong as well. And this one just lets you warp if you're in a need to do that. So yeah. Next, for the other Infirmon running the BT-17 one, on evolution you can de-Digivolve 1, and then until the end of an opponent's turn. Level 8 cost or less Digimon cannot attack players. And then the inherent ability is also to de-Digivolve 1 whenever one of your other Diaboromons are played. So, stonks. Next, we are running 2 of the Diaboromon from LMO3. So we're running this one just so we can potentially cheat out some more Tamers, and sometimes you might catch your opponent off guard if they're not expecting a Blast evolution at level 5. The ability to Digivolve 1, as long as you have Tamer on the board, is pretty good, and the inherit to Digivolve 1 when you're attacking is also pretty good. So running 2 Diaboromons. If you don't like Diaboromons, you can cut this out and run another Infirmon if you want, and then this slot can be used to either play extra rookie or one of the other options if you want. But I think Diaboromon is pretty interesting to play. It's actually pretty good if you're breaking as well. You can hard cast this and potentially go for a Tamer. And then if you do play with Tamer, you can de-Digivolve 1. If you have a Tamer on the board already, your de-Digivolve 1 is guaranteed. And then you can still set up for your Diaboromon Ace plays. Of course, when your whole stack gets deleted, you're giving your opponent 7 memory. But you know, sometimes you might have to do it. But yeah, anyway, that's the level 5s. So this card is not searchable with your Caramon and stuff, but I still think he's worth playing in this deck because you can search it with the black training as well as the black memory boost. Alright, now let's move on to the level 6s. So we are running 4 of the EX6 Diaboromon. This is the best Diaboromon in the game by far. So what this card does is, at the start main phase and when you're Digivolving, you can play a Diaboromon token. For those of you who don't know, this is the Diaboromon token. This is you can run any token if you want, but this is the one I'm using. So this one helps you, this one gives you all the information that you need. It's 14 cost, 3000 power, level 6, and it's a white Digimon. So yeah. And then on both players' turn, when a opponent's Digimon is played, you can activate the main skill. So that's also very good at just adding pressure to your opponent. it kind of stops them from using their Scrabble cards early on because you're going to get a free token. But, you know, sometimes if they have to do it, you just get a free body on the board, which is nice. And then on all turns, all of your other Digimon with Diaboromon in his name get jamming and blocker. So keep in mind, he does not get jamming, so you don't usually swing with this one, just because, unless you're going for game. He usually stays in the back and just spawns minions for you to slam with. So it's very much like in the movie where he kind of like sends his little minions to do his bidding, and then he just stays in the back. So yeah, he's quite vulnerable, but I think he's just really good just because you're spawning so many tokens and all of them can attack with jamming. So yeah, I quite like it. And then for the other level 6, we're running 3 of the Diaboromon Ace. So this is the promo one. On evolution and on attack, you can spawn a token, and then whenever a token is played, you can by an effect. It has to be played by effect. So it can be whenever another Digimon is played. So it doesn't even have to be your tokens. You can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 3 or less, and then for every Diaboromon you have in play, increase the maximum cost. You can delete by 2. So if you're doing a attack and you spawn, and you only have 1 token, that's something you're already going to be able to pop 5 cost. So the card is strong. Not as strong as the EX6 one, but I think this card is still pretty good. And it is 6 cost to hardcast, so if you are behind or if you're kind of breaking, I think this card's not bad to just hardcast. Now moving on to the level 7s, we are running 1 of each. We're running the Armageddemon from BT-5 and 1 of the Armageddemon from BT-17. So I'm running 1 of each just because I was running more before and I was sort of breaking with them. Getting them too early is not good, and so I'm running 1 of each. I think 1 of each is pretty good just because if you're playing against the opponent's deck that have level 7 aces, this card will shut it down. So you have this on the board and you attack with your Diaboromon, and your opponent can't just slap down an ace to ruin your day. And this one also on play just lets you delete a total of 15 cost. So you just look at your opponent's board. If they have 15 costs worth of stuff, you can just pop it and pop some other stuff if you can. So this is really good against ace cards that are already on the board, because they usually have pretty low cost. So you'll be able to pop at least, if they have a level 7 ace, you can pop that and then pop something else. If they have a level 5 or 6 ace, you can probably pop both. So it's pretty good. And it also has rush and reboot and it's blocker, so this is just good to have on the board. And then on your turn, this card can also attack unsuspended Digimon, so that's also pretty good. So both of them are good. If you prefer running 1 and not running the other one, you can just cut the other one out. But I think having 1/1 is a kind of a compromise that I'm dealing with right now. Again, this if you don't want to run this Diaboromon, one of them can be cut out for another Armageddemon if you want. And I guess the rest of the cards here is up to my preference. So if you like to run more of the level 7s here, you can feel free to do so. But you know, just hope you don't draw into too many of them early game. So if you're running only 2 and you drop both of them early game, then I have nothing to say. So yeah. All right, let's move on to the Tamer. So running 4 Aratas. This is obviously the best Tamer for Diaboromon decks. The effect is a little bit outdated now, just because I think in the current game, him being a both turns effect would be really good. So whenever one of your Digimon digivolves into a Diaboromon, you can suspend this Tamer to play a Diaboromon token. And the memory gain effect is if you have a Digimon with the unidentified trait, in your trash, you can get more memory. So getting the memory is pretty easy because you're going to have unidentified stuff in your trash pretty early in the game. So having more of these on the board just helps you stack memory. So it's really strong. Next, we're running one tie, but you can run Izzy if you want to guarantee your checks. So the Izzy works pretty well with the Diaboromon, but since I'm only running two, I'm not too focused on that. Instead, I'm running the Taichi instead because my Diaboromon will have blocker most of the time. So you can change targets and just get the draw in an extra power. So the extra power will come in handy sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So yeah. We're only running one because we don't have space for it. Next, for the options, we are running two of the Catastrophe Cannon. So this is a 4 cost. It only costs 4, which is one of the reasons why I'm running it, because it's quite cheap. It lets you Digivolve 2 on one opponent's Digimon, and then if you have a Diaboromon in play, you can play a Diaboromon token. So for 4 costs, that's quite a lot for a 4 cost, so it's quite good. And this combos pretty well with the Diaboromon Ace as well, because if you have it on the board, you can Digivolve 2, and then when you spawn a token, you can proc the Diaboromon's effect to delete that Digimon afterwards. So once you Digivolve 2, it's probably in kill range. So yeah, it works pretty well with the Diaboromon Ace. And then the rest of the deck is just consistency boosters. So we're running 2 Black Memory Boost, and we're running 3 of the trainings. Black training, defensive training. Ratio is up to you. And if you don't want to run so many consistency boosters, you can definitely cut some out to run other cards if you want. But I think this deck is prone to brick, so I will try to fix that as soon as possible. And these can also help you search for your Tamers as well. So if you need that Rata, then you can grab it. But keep in mind, your defensive training cannot grab your BT-5 Armageddemon, but it can grab your BT-17 Armageddemon. So if you bottom deck one of them, you can potentially just get the other one. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This deck is fun. If you're wondering why I'm not running the clock option, I was trying this card out, but most of the time it is dead in my hand. Just because same reason why I'm not running so many of the Armageddemons. Early game, they are bricks, and you really don't want to top deck this when you're bricking. So that's why I'm not running this. But anyway, the win con for most of your games, even if you're running this, is probably not going to be this. Instead, you're going to be playing this for the protection. So this is an option that you can run if you want more protection for your deck. But I think for 3 costs, I don't think it does enough. So that's why I'm not running it. But if you like to experiment with it, you can run this for a trial, and then you'll see what I mean. But that is pretty much it for this deck, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. But this is Kurataku, and I'll see you guys next time.